What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Off the Rails. Off the Rails is a recovery podcast dedicated to ending the stigma of addiction through open discussion on all things recovery related. My name is Mark, and with me always is Dave. Dave,
Hello.
how the hell are you, man?
I'm well, my man. I'm same as last weekend. I don't know if we didn't do Sunday last week, but a little tired here, end of the week, Sunday.
Yep.
But feeling good. Feeling good as far as my mental health and recovery and that kind of stuff. So yeah, can't really complain. You?
Doing pretty well.
Yeah.
It's been a great week. Um, Work's been good, getting to meetings, consistency in the gym, and had a good weekend. It was a little down
Have
in the
you?
dumps yesterday, but
Yeah.
turned that around today. Got to the splash pad with Mila, and as I was mentioning to you before, I got back on the Facebook train. Your boy got
Yeah.
Facebook, so I guess we could be friends on that, guys, if you're listening. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I deleted that. I didn't even delete my old Facebook, Dave. Threw my phone off a cliff
That
and
was it.
changed my number when I went to treatment for the first time.
Yeah.
And then I couldn't get into my old social media accounts. Couldn't get into my uh, email that they're like attached to because I changed my number. So yeah,
Just out there.
just had to do it all again.
That's
But
okay. Start fresh.
yeah, um, so I'm a bit nervous about it. I used to be really paranoid about social media and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Now I think it's like a useful tool to promote recovery and share our stories on.
Yeah. Yeah, you had mentioned before that, and I was like, it's funny because I was thinking about taking a break from it and kind of getting rid of mine. But um, you're right. They are super useful, like all the social media, I think, for a lot of things. And then I think other ways we can kind of find ourselves, you know, them being not so useful and how other ways we can use them that can be negative, right? But yeah, there's a lot of good for it. Like you were saying, you kind of mainly did it kind of for work too, right? Which is a
Yeah,
lot of times I think people kind of get not handcuffed into that, but there is a lot of good ways of communicating or sharing things with people that maybe you work with, or like in our case too, for their podcast and that kind of thing, right? So
yeah.
yeah,
We have like a group chat on Messenger for work. They were telling me about that I should be a part of.
yeah,
So I guess I had to get Facebook.
yeah, that's good. You know what? See how it goes. And if it's making you feel negative, then just get rid of it.
Exactly. I'll give it a month trial.
Yeah. Now I have a question for you on the workouts.
Yes, sir.
Have you been going like so? You've been consistent like every morning, or are you like kind of yeah? Wow, good for you.
Yeah, but I tell you what, Dave, I've noticed my strength has gone down.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. That was my second question. Are you like kind of not changing your workouts, but like okay with the fact that maybe your weight's gone down as far as what you're pushing, and you're just kind of like you understand why, right? You're like you're
Yeah,
busier now with work and whatnot. So
yeah, I'm busy, burning more calories, and not going to be as strong. But I do struggle with that a bit. But it's also worth it. Like I don't want to be hurt and go to work and like
yeah,
limping around type thing. Um, but overall, still getting there. Still trying to be healthy.
yeah, that's
Still
good.
buying basketball cards.
Oh yeah, yes. I'm glad you brought that up. I would have forgotten about that from last week. Yeah.
Yeah,
Any
lately.
any good finds?
Oh, dude, yeah, I got a couple of John Morant rookie cards.
Oh, depending on what that guy does, they could be worth a lot of money.
Exactly. If he stays away from flashing the gun, they
Yeah,
could be worth a lot.
yeah,
So got a couple of those. Um, been looking at getting a display case for the house for my basketball cards. I'm all
How
in
does
on them.
how does Rebecca feel about that?
She, I, I don't know. I don't think she's proud of it, but
I'm wondering what the display case. I think she's probably thinking maybe put that in the side closet or something.
oh yeah, that got to go in like my room.
Yeah, your downstairs room there.
Yeah, my downstairs room.
Yeah,
I only got two little rooms in the house. I got my little space right here, and then right next to it, I got my room where I do my rug making, painting, and
yeah,
now collecting.
yeah.
So
I love it.
yeah, I'm sure the door will be closed when we have company. So other than that, Dave, my dad's coming to visit this week. I'm super pumped.
Oh yeah, he's coming by. Nice,
Coming
nice.
on Saturday, so I got to go pick him up. Very excited to see him.
Yeah. How long is he staying for?
8 days.
Okay, so you get the weekend. Are you taking any time off work during the week or
No, I'm
not?
just gonna try to get off. Like, well, I said no, but I'm gonna be trying to cut the day as short as possible every single day.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah,
I'll be leaving at 4, hopefully every day.
yeah. That's good, man. That's exciting.
Be good.
Yeah.
So what else is new with you? Have you been hitting the gym?
Yeah, I've been the last 3 or 4 days I've been kind of back at it consistently, like each of those days.
Yeah.
Over the span of the last couple of weeks, I've been off a little bit, like with when I was sick there a couple of weeks ago, and then the following week I kind of missed a couple of days. So um yeah, I was just thinking that's what kind of why I asked you about the kind of like the weight and stuff like that, because I find, you know, I was having progress with like increasing some of my weights, and now I'm just like back down a bit, and
Yeah.
so I'm just kind of, you know what, I'm just gonna try to really get the workouts in and see how I'm feeling that day, and just kind of adjust from there, and yeah, I'm thinking about changing them up a little bit too, but I find every time I start to do that, think about changing them up is when I kind of like get myself screwed up when I go in there, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this and this, and then I don't, and it kind of just messes with my routine. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense, but
No, it does. It really does.
yeah. So I started writing out a little bit of a plan, like a day 1, 2, 3, 4, and do kind of like all body parts each day, but different kind of workouts. Like, so we'll see. But for now, I'm just gonna continue what I've been doing, and yeah, it's been good. Other than that, I got a wedding coming up at the end of the week, going to Toronto.
Awesome.
I'll leave on Thursday. Be swinging into Barrie for a night. Hopefully, we'll see my aunt and Aurelia Friday during the day. Stay at my sister's Friday night in Toronto. Wedding Saturday. Right back Sunday. So,
Are you looking
what's that?
forward to it?
Yeah, I really am. It's a buddy of mine. He's young. He coached with me. He's a younger guy. I think he's like 26. He started coaching with me when he was like 18. So I'm kind of like, I don't want to say I've been a mentor to him because he's in a lot of ways more mature than I am, but like he's just a good dude, and it's a very small wedding he's having, just basically family.
Okay.
And he's invited me, so I'm kind of feel pretty honored about that. So yeah, I spent a lot of time with him, and a couple hard times I went through, he was actually there for me too, and vice versa. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. It'll be good. So yeah.
I had a question for you before we get into our good topic today.
Yeah, yeah.
So I went in for supper last night, and we got some mussels.
Okay.
So from the East Coast, as you know, love my
Yeah.
seafood. So get the mussels, and they're like, "How would you like them done? Would you like them in white wine or beer?" So then me and Rebecca like look at each other because Rebecca already knows what I'm thinking. I'm like, I don't want them in either,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, is that considered cheating on your sobriety if you have food cooked in wine or beer?
Yeah, that's a good question. And it's a question that's come up to me actually. Someone at work asked me that, the one that cooks, because they're making a special for, I think it was for Mother's Day or something, and the same thing, the chicken was cooked in wine sauce or whatever. And she's like, "Would you have that?" Or and I'm like, "No, I personally I do try the same as like you're saying. I try to stay away from it." Like my brother last summer made beer can chicken, and we had sausages and stuff too. So I just quietly like didn't have the beer can chicken. I just had sausage. But curious to know about that. Like, does it get when it's cooked? Like, does alcohol get burnt out of it? Like, I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
Or
So
like,
I don't know either. So
it's a
me and
very
Rebecca
good
were having a conversation, and that's what she said. She's like, it probably gets cooked off or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but where do you draw the line? And
yeah,
I feel like if I start pushing the line a little bit,
yeah,
then
yeah. Was there another option or no? Like,
there was. So we talked to him. We're like, do you think we could just have them done in like garlic butter type thing,
right.
water and butter, like salt water? And they, I think I didn't like explain to them that I was in recovery, but
Yeah,
I was just like, I just don't want them cooked in alcohol type thing. And they respected the request, came out, asked how they were, and they were delicious. So
yeah,
I don't know. Felt
yeah,
felt a bit pressured at that moment, but I'm glad that I spoke up, said something.
yeah. No, that sounds like you handled it well, and it's the way I think. Not you should, but I think I'm in the same boat as you as far as like what you said, like not wanting to push the envelope, and also like almost like a mental thing where it's like it may not do anything, but like if there's a chance, it makes me want to like it
Drink.
makes me yeah drink or crave a beer or crave alcohol or whatever, even a little bit. Like I don't really want to do that, right?
Oh,
So
it's not worth it.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
So I feel, and as soon as I did, I was like, I can't wait to talk to Dave about this.
yeah, that's a good question though, as far as like maybe if it is burnt off, someone could tell us or whatever, and it's like 0%. Maybe I'll feel better about if having that, but I don't know. Until then, I'll just pass it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So Dave, you came up with a excellent topic to talk about today.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it kind of got brought up. My thought process on it was because going down to this wedding. It's on Saturday, but on the Friday night, my buddy asked me about going for dinner with his brother, and how they're going to a restaurant and the atmosphere or whatever. And he's kind of like, would you be comfortable in this scenario? And so in my head, I was kind of thinking about it, like, yeah, I would be, but that day I don't know how I'm going to feel. So it kind of reminded me of the exercise we did at Newgate, where you have a questionnaire of 100 questions, and you kind of rate yourself on a 0, 1, 2, 3. So never would be 0, rarely would be 1, frequently would be 2, almost always would be 3. And then those answers kind of give you a chart on kind of scenarios that are you're more likely to,
That are
based
high,
on
yeah, that are high risk situations for you to use type thing, right?
yeah, exactly, yeah. So I just thought it would be kind of cool to kind of, I don't know how you want to talk about it, but we could talk about our own. Um, and I think it's good to kind of like maybe even have a look at it. If
Yep.
you've never done something like this before, I don't know, we can maybe find it if you want to give yourself a survey and read it, because I think it's probably a good thing to have, or to at least know of in the back of your head for when you're in recovery, so like, you know, well, my highest one was, my high risk is unpleasant emotions, which sometimes you can't really avoid those, but let's say another one is uh well, pleasant times with others. So I gotta know, like, if I'm having a good time with some friends, that I don't put myself in a spot where I'm
Yep.
gonna feel like I don't want to have a drink or whatever. But
So yeah, like so the drinking one, right? The alcohol one is called the DSM 1000. Is that right? And then the drug
IDS 100?
IDS
No.
100. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's not DSM 1000. I'm pretty sure that's okay.
Yes, well, that sounds cool though. It sounds like a band.
So what is it called? IDS 100.
IDS.
Yeah, and then
India
the drug taking one
Delta.
is just called a drug taking questionnaire.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because you had to do two, right?
Yeah, I had to do two. So,
Yeah.
um, and it's cool because they really break down the high risk situations, and they include unpleasant emotions, physical discomfort, pleasant emotions, testing personal control, urges, temptations to drink, conflict with others, social pressure to drink or use, and pleasant time with others. And as you were saying, Dave, it's cool to find out your results because then you're able to plan and how you're going to like take on, say, social pressure to drink, right? Or
Yeah.
if unpleasant emotions one, like how do you start to deal with your unpleasant emotions in a healthy way,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Dave, when you did it, what were your like high risk situations?
So my highest one was unpleasant emotions, and my second was pleasant times with others. Um, Testing personal control would be third. But it's funny because like I don't know, this was early on when I did this one. Um, you
This
know,
is
I almost wish we would have done it twice, like one like later on where you've had time to more reflect. Because I find when you first go in, it's like you're kind of in a daze. I found anyway, where you're kind of not sure what's going on. Like I don't know, and just a lot of like a lot of it's trying to discover yourself, right? So early on, you're at least for me, you're just kind of like in this fog, and then as you start to participate in some groups and I think you get a little more comfortable with what you've been like in the past and be more open to share that and open up a little bit. So, like I don't think I was dishonest on any of them, but like there's maybe a couple that I would either score myself maybe higher. Like one I was reading is like, um, when you have a drink with when I was out with friends and they stopped by the bar for a drink, I put two, but then another one was where the heck is it? Some of them when someone orders a drink at dinner or something like that, I'm like, and I put like a zero, but like I think I put a zero because like I'm already drinking with them. So like a couple were kind of like a little mixed up. But yeah, that was my highest one. So and then I realized there's a couple here that I scored zero where it's like I think there would be more like when I feel physical pain, like I was zero because I think someone that maybe was abusing it too because they're physically hurt or certain other drugs, right? Maybe marijuana. And this one was yours just a drug. The second one you did just a drug one in general, or what was it?
no, I did two different ones. So I did the same drinking one,
Yeah.
and then I did the drug taking questionnaire as well. And
Okay.
uh, the, like they're both broken down into the same categories, right?
Right.
So the eight different like high risk situations, but my results were different for drinking than drug taking. And like you said, um, you wish you had waited a bit, like to do it, type thing.
Yeah.
And like I've got to do this twice, right? So
Right.
the first time I went to Newgate, I did it, and I remember talking to my counselor about it and being like there's nothing that I don't do drugs for, right?
Right.
Like these are all high risk situations for me. I was using all day, every day when I was awake, right?
Right.
Nothing was like push me in one direction more than the other.
Yeah.
But
So it wasn't events. It wasn't events that were happening. It was just you were just doing like.
yeah, I was just like I couldn't function without it type thing.
Yeah.
I couldn't really function with it. But as like this like sobriety increased, I started like seeing that the results would be different, right? And then, when we went to Newgate again, I had different results again. And like the pleasant time with others at that point was like my highest risk type thing,
Right.
right?
Yeah. And it's
No.
funny too. Like I'm sure like this one question would maybe be different like when I felt drowsy and wanted to stay alert, like that would maybe be different if you were drinking versus like doing drugs, right? Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, that was 100%. That was I would have checked off like 100% for that.
yeah. But for drinking, you would be like,
No,
I don't
yeah,
really drink when I'm drowsy. Like,
yeah. And the thing is, Dave, when I did the drinking questionnaire and the drug questionnaire, my results were like almost completely different. Like pleasant times with others for drinking is like something that like I used to enjoy doing, right? Like I used to enjoy going out and have drinks with people or having drinks at dinner and but like using would be like unpleasant emotions and that would have been a high risk situation for me and like how do I kind of so it's like I had to properly manage my like mental health really is like a high risk situation for
right.
me
Yeah.
and I don't know and I just find it really cool to see how they kind of change over time and
Yeah.
so I'm fired up about this but when you look back at yours now do you think that like those same high risk situations apply to you today?
Um, yeah. I mean, obviously we can't score the same because all of them should be zero because we don't drink, but like, right. But as far as like, yeah, I mean, like unpleasant emotions would be my highest. I think like
Yep.
one of the reasons why I've done well so far, I think, is I kind of had a little bit of a breakthrough when I was away on how to deal with some of my um unpleasant emotions, and uh that was super helpful for me. So that was able to kind of probably that was probably what that was my highest one. That was a big obstacle I had for me, especially like the last few years with unpleasant emotions with my brother passing away was like a huge one for me. I don't think I ever really um handled that properly, and I always just kind of felt that and drank, and then it just spiraled and it just got more depressed and like um so like yeah, I definitely think that that would probably be, and then pleasant time with other, those are probably like two of the ones that probably are, knowing myself, like probably high risk. um but like I haven't felt like drinking or anything in those when I've had those times, you know what I mean? That makes any sense? I
Yeah,
don't know.
absolutely, man.
But yeah, yeah. And then I also wonder too, like um if you're not able to keep these in control and one of these goes off the charts, like say you score really high,
Mhm.
like is that an indicator that you might end up going, if you don't get your problems resolved, might lead you to a path to start looking for something else that's going to help you numb that emotion even more, right? Like
Mhm.
drinking's not working. Like let's just use me for example. Let's just say unpleasant emotions, drinking wasn't doing it anymore, and that goes off the chart too. I scored 100 there. Now am I looking to do other kind of drugs to try to find that, to mask that pain out? And then if you start doing that and then that goes to 100, then you start getting further and further down a hole of more and more different kind of drugs. I don't know. It's the ramble there.
No, that's good.
You follow me on what I'm saying there? Or?
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. What about you? Same question when you look at that.
Which ones are like stand out to me now?
Yeah, like would you still say that they're the same? Like not saying that you're necessarily wanting to
Yeah.
use anytime you have an unpleasant emotion, but like knowing yourself, like are those like the times you probably feel challenged the most, I guess?
Yeah. I mean, social pressure to drink is not one for me anymore, right?
Yeah,
Just like no one pressures me to drink like at all. So
yeah,
that's not one. But pleasant times with others is definitely still one where like for alcohol with me anyway, where like I'm like, you know what, it would be nice right now. But
yeah,
then like that's where a couple of tools come in handy for me. It's just and playing the tape through never fails for me for that one. And it just takes a split second, and I'm like, well, that's why I can't type thing.
yeah,
And
yeah. I find that one's really helpful for that.
Yeah.
for that particular one, and for sure.
And then on like the drug side, the unpleasant emotions one is probably high for that, where it's just very important for me to like, I guess, yeah, work on my emotions, um, talk about how I'm feeling, do a check-in with myself every morning, journal, um, and focus on my, control my depression type thing or manage it. And
Right.
I know that if I like it goes unmanaged, then that could be like a huge warning sign for me. So I I don't know if they've changed, like, but I know that I can manage those high risk situations better than I used to. And like I think as the time in sobriety has gone on, we are able to get better at managing them. But if we
Mhm.
stop managing them, we could see it becoming a problem type thing.
Yeah. Yeah. No, 100%. I agree. Yeah. Just a cool little exercise.
It is cool, man.
You know what one of my almost always was?
Yep.
When I passed by a liquor store.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I know I talked about before, like that was tough, man. Going by an LCBO. And now, so for anyone listening that might be struggling, like that has that same issue, like I remember even talking about that with people or whatever. It was like going by the LCBO or going by a bar. Like, does that urge or temptation ever go away when you like see the sign all the time and you want to just pull in? And now when I go by, I don't even notice it. Right? It's just like any other store. Um, so it does kind of, at least for me, has gotten better. Right? So
Was there a tool in the beginning that you would use, like when you would see it?
uh no, I don't think I really did.
Just toughed it out, just like fuck that place.
Yeah. Like I think I might have, yeah, I might have played the tape through as well, because like it was similar where like I would have a thought about like stopping or whatever, and then just remembering same kind of thing. Like, yeah, it'd be nice to have one or two right now, but it doesn't really work that way. Yeah, that was kind of it. Kind of toughed it out a little bit. I also had big urges for um the regular spot I would stop for chewing tobacco too. And that was a big one because I always pulled in the kind of the same one. Um, I generally had a good spot where I would get gas and get chew, and then I would like dump out a couple of the bottles that were in the back of my truck. Dump them in the garbage there, and so it was like that particular gas station was a big one for me too. But I think just with time, it just kind of went away, you know. So
What other questions are on that bad boy?
oh yeah, you don't have the questionnaire one, right? Um, I'll go to the when I felt empty inside.
Yep.
That was a big. That was a three. That was almost always
Yep.
boredom.
Oh yeah, that's a bad one, eh?
Yeah,
Like, what else is there to do?
yeah.
Turns out there's a lot to do.
Out with friends, want to increase out on the town and want to increase the enjoyment.
Yeah, that's almost always for you boy
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
But for out on the town for me was like you're drinking as much as possible like that night. Like
What's the point? That's how
yeah,
my brain works. Like, what's the point of going out of town if I'm not getting shit faced?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, yeah, a couple of zeros would like a zero for me was when I felt jumpy or physically tense. The drowsy one when I was in physical pain.
The jumpy or physically tense one, I think I would have been like a almost always for me, kind of like the take the edge off type thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Be like, fuck this. And I'm like feeling uncomfortable, super anxious. Let's have a drink.
yeah. Would it be the same for the drug too, or would that make? Yeah,
Yeah. Well, and it would make it worse, right? Like, I would think it would help, but it would not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, my brain on drugs was just like the reasoning is horrible.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a bunch of good ones.
Yeah. So guys, if you're listening and you want to identify which situations put you at a higher risk of using or relapsing, both of those questionnaires are fantastic. IDS 100 and the drug taking questionnaire. They're amazing. And then you can start planning on how to combat those high risk situations. Dave, excellent topic choice today, dude.
Nice work, man. You
Yeah,
you crushed it. You crushed explaining that all.
not
That's good.
as not as good as you.
No, no, no. Better, much better.
So, guys, if you or someone you know is struggling, please reach out and ask for help. Thank you very much for listening.